Well, it turned out Pittsburgh, PA was the site for the first weekend of the full field of the tournament. We had some incredible games. 5 of the 6 come right down to the wire. In the East region, started with NC State and a win over the top seed in the East, Villanova. Basically a home game for Villanova. NC State traveled very well. They advanced to Syracuse into the Sweet 16. Brian Anderson with Steve Smith. Let's get into that first game first, because here's NC State. They finished, down in the middle of the pack. They weren't expected to do much in the ACC, and yet they're the ones moving on this time.
Well, fantastic play by first the trio of guards defensively. We know they can score. They did a nice job. If you look at all the guards for Villanova, other than Hilliard, they were struggling to shoot the basketball, and then it came down to the front courts, and that's where you thought the edge was for Villanova. Malika Boo was just fantastic. The energy, the freshman just had us going over here, Brian, and he starts off with a huge dunk over Shefu, and then nice little touch down in the paint. He had 13 points, 12 rebounds. He was fantastic for the Wolfpack.
Came right down to the stretch. NC State, remember, they had a huge rally. They beat LSU. Looked like their season was going to come to an end, coming back from a 16-point deficit, but they're moving on. The nightcap was in the Midwest region. That's the region occupied by the overall #1 Kentucky, and it was Butler and Notre Dame, the last two from the Hoosier State, still standing. And when it's all said and done, the 3-seed Notre Dame stands tall on their way back to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 12 years.
Well, you look at overtime, they started to spread out the Butler Bulldogs and knock down threes. Pat Collins at first, and then Steve Astoria. Also, Jaron Grant made some huge plays. I thought the play of overtime was the pump fake and draw the foul against Alex Barlow and got to the free throw line. And before that, the regulation was all about Notre Dame's defense. We had that first game, Brian. I didn't think it could get any better. It got better in that second game.
Yeah, the last game of this regional goes into overtime. It was an honor to be a part of this, folks. This was some kind of competition. Congratulations to NC State and Notre Dame. They advance out of Pittsburgh.